Hi everyone, it's Sean. What up? Welcome back to another video, and I have a special treat for you folks today. I sat down with two of the actresses from the Wheel of Time, Shoreh Aghdashloo, who plays Eliada Sedai, and Kate Fleetwood, who plays Liandrin Sedai, and I was able to ask them a few questions about their characters, the fandom, and Season 3. So if you love the Wheel of Time, if you're as excited as I am about Season 3 and all of the upcoming projects, yes, there's a ton of stuff in the pipe right now coming from the Wheel of Time. We're talking movies, animated features, games, you name it. There's a ton of things that are happening that are in the mix that we'll be hearing more about soon. Or if you just love the Wheel of Time and want to keep up with all of the news, consider making us your home for Wheel of Time news. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and of course, tell all of your friends. Now, sitting down with both these actresses to me was absolutely wild. I know a lot of journalists and people who interview for magazines and online publications may not be fans. I'm a huge fan of both of them before they ever joined the show. So my oldest is a theater kid, and we grew up watching a lot of Shakespeare and Shakespeare productions, and Kate Fleetwood was Lady M, and absolutely nailed it. Probably one of the most iconic renditions of Lady M I've ever seen. So I loved her long before she ever joined the Wheel of Time. And she's brought something special to the character of Liandrin. And so I want to dive into that interview first. This is what I got to see and say when I sat down with Kate herself, and it was just surreal. She is such a nice person. She's so down to earth, and I was grateful for her taking the time with me. But take a look at what she said. Hello. Hi, how are you?
We've met before, haven't we?
We have met before.
Hello. How are you?
So I'm fantastic. How about yourself? Probably a long day, but other than that, good.
Yeah. Been rehearsing all day, so yeah.
So I'm going to dive right in. First off, I want to thank you for your portrayal of Liandrin in the show. You took a character that didn't have near as much depth as anyone wanted, and you made it perfection for the screen. And I want to thank you for that. Like she's absolutely perfect, and the fandom loves her to pieces. They really do.
Oh,
So
thank you so much, and pass on my thanks to the fandom.
I will when I hear this. So I have to ask this. My children, my oldest especially, grew up doing theater, and they did a lot of Shakespeare and a lot of big Shakespeare productions here in my hometown. And they love the show, and you're their favorite character, obviously. So they'd be mad at me if I didn't ask. How much Lady Macbeth are you putting into Liandrin?
Actually, I was just talking to someone about exactly the same thing, but not that, but that you don't judge a book by its cover, even Shakespearean characters. That I played Juliet when I was a very young actress, and when I was playing Juliet, no, when I was playing Lady M, I remember thinking, "Gosh, this language is very reminiscent of something," and Juliet talks about charnel houses and bones and leave me here to die. And when I was playing Lady M, I was very like these words are very similar to Juliet. So I've always think as Juliet as a bit of a sort of a foreshadowing of the gothic darkness of Lady M. But apropos your question is that I guess there's always a bit of everything in everybody. There's the light and dark in everything. So yes, maybe I do bring a bit of that to Leandrin, but there's also the soft side of Lady
Mhm.
M. She loses her mind, and and I probably say this, I'm blue in the face, but I'm always looking for that mask drop and that friction in a character. If I
And you
go
give it to
to,
us so well with Leandrin
oh,
in
I
the show.
hope
Like
so.
all
I'm
the
looking.
tender, slow moments. It's perfect.
I hope so. I'm always looking for where that other kind of oxygen can, or other gas, if you like. When
Mhm.
you're playing something, you're playing the calibrating the pedals of the character, like a driving or something, and it's just about where to put that bit of that little bit of gas, that
That
little
little
bit.
extra.
Yeah. So, but my children would tell you that I put a bit of Lady Macbeth in everything.
I won't ask why.
No,
So I have one
it's
more
just with the
question.
look. I don't
Oh,
have to
just the
say
look.
just the
Just the look
look.
you give them.
I never raise my voice, but it's just the look.
So I do have one more question. The differing accents in season 3 that
Ah, did
Leandrin
you pick up on
has.
it?
I
Yeah.
did, yes. So I've noticed it a few times. How difficult was that to slip in and out of that? Like, did you have to do a bunch of takes? Did you keep trying to do something a bit
Oh
different,
no,
or was
you
it
do
quite
different,
easy?
and then maybe in ADR I might do a softer one, but I think they ended up using the original. I couldn't speak to that, but where that came from was I knew that there was this that Liandrin would slip her accent, would go to a rougher dialect if and when she felt maybe under pressure or she was angry or whatever. And I've
Mhm.
wanted to put it into my performance from the very minute I started playing her. They always felt a little bit crowbarred in, and I was a bit like, so I was always looking like if I was getting a bit angry with someone, maybe I can put it, and then I spoke to Rafe and Justine at the beginning when we were shooting the shoot season 3, and they told me the arc of my journey this season. And they said that she's going home and she's going to meet, that family. And I thought, ah, and
A
my
good spot
family,
for it.
uh, mm, and my family, my mum and dad's family are all from Liverpool. So my family are all Scouse. Scouse is a way of saying Liverpudlian, and so the Beatles were Scouse. And it's also a port city, Liverpool, and as is Tanchico. And there was this rather serendipitous opportunity, which I posed to the writers and said, could she be Scouse? And they ran with that. I mean, it's very subtle. It's not.
It works so well though. It
Do you
does.
think so? I'm glad. I wasn't
Oh,
sure. I think,
100%.
oh God, is this going to work? Because it's quite bold, but I'm glad you think it works. And also, it's sort of she's meeting her old self and it's in spite of her. She can't help it, And that name, Lunolt, it's so vivid for her that she can't say it in any other way. And and I love the notion of Tanchico being a bit like Liverpool in the sense that it was a bit edgy. It was a mercantile city. It was a port. It meant people could come and go and change their, it's a kind of a port city is a very interesting, yeah, flavor, isn't it? It's transient, and so things can happen and be forgotten very quickly. People can get lost very quickly, disappear, and never be seen again. So that so that
I
that
thought it
all
was done
makes
very, very well. I thought it
yeah,
was
I'm
done
glad you
very well.
thought so. Glad
But
you thought.
I think we're pretty much out of time here now. But I just wanted to end with thanking you again for your portrayal, and on behalf of the fandom, you've been absolutely lovely and wonderful, especially in your interactions with everyone. And everyone really truly does love you and Leandrin this season. It's great
Thank you
stuff.
all so much. Thank you. Much love to you all.
So sitting down with Kate was, like I said, absolutely amazing. Her love for the show, for her castmates, the material, and the fandom actually just shone through in everything she said. And every interaction I've had with the cast, the crew, the production team has pretty much the same. They're like a big family, and they really do love what they're doing. So it's nice to actually be able to see that and share that with the fandom. And I followed that up with a sit down with another member of the Red Asha. I know you're saying, John, two members of the Red Asha the same day. How can that be? Well, it happened, and I was a little frazzled for hours afterwards. But I sat down with Shoreh Aghdashloo, who plays Eliada Sedai. Now, I've been a fan of Shoreh's for quite some time. I especially loved her in The Expanse. And if you don't know what that is, it's a sci-fi show that used to be on Sci-Fi. It got canceled, and then Prime picked it up and finished it. So it didn't quite get Fireflied, which I was very, very excited for because it was such a good show, a great book series. And Shoreh played an amazing role in that show. So sitting down with her again, just like with Kate, was absolutely intimidating, but I had a blast talking to her, and she really does. She really does enjoy the character of Lida, and a whole lot of thought was put into her portrayal and things she did on screen, as you get to see during this interview. Good morning. How are you?
Good afternoon, good evening. I'm in India.
Well, sir, it's lunchtime here, so there we go. So,
Absolutely.
thank you for taking the time with me today. I really do appreciate it, and I wanted to start by saying that I absolutely adore you as Elida. I mean, you're perfect for the role. It's a treat to see this character brought to life by you on screen. So I want to start with that. It's absolutely
Thank
wonderful.
you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Coming from, thank you. Thank you for taking your time to talk to me and coming from you. makes me feel so happy because I was wondering if I could portray her the right way. Thank you.
Oh no, 100%. You're knocking it out of the park. So I have a couple of questions. We only have a little bit of time. So the first one is pretty open-ended, but what's your best memory from filming season three?
Working with all the amazing actors on this show, diverse, global, and creme de la creme of each culture, each country, each part of the globe. It was amazing how all of us under one roof could work with one another and make the other one shine. That part I loved. The more diversified, of course, the better messages we can send out, saying that look at us, we're all working together in a harmony, in an amazing with an amazing harmony and peaceful coexistence in real life behind the sets.
Well, that's awesome here. It really does show on screen that you all get along with each other, and it seems like you're more family than friends, which is awesome. So I do have a question about the character a bit. Eliada is one of those characters from the book series that people love to hate. I mean, they really do. And one of the things the Wheel of Time show has done really, really well is take antagonists and just elevate them to a whole new level. Um, so, how did you feel about playing an antagonist who is not inherently evil? She's not a dark friend. She's not working for the Dark One. She's just not a great person. How did you feel about playing
Exactly.
that type of person in the show?
Well, actors, us, we love, we're given arm and a leg for multi-layered characters. This woman is amazing. But I remember when the fans found out that I was doing portraying Eliada, and they said, "Oh no, we hate Eliada. How could we hate others? We love her." But then I said, "Trust me, I will portray it, and you would enjoy the performance, but you still can love me." And they said, "Okay, let's see what you can do." And it was amazing, to portray this character, and what an amazing thing to say that paying more attention to the antagonists, because in the past we didn't do that. We would give a shallow portrayal of the antagonist, like in the Batman. We would know everything about Batman, or even his, butler and favorite drink, but we didn't know anything about the Penguin. And when the Penguin came out, came to me, I was like, oh yes, 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 I want to know who the Penguin is. I've heard so many rumors. That's why. Uh, Back to what you said, which I loved, is all the details about this
Yeah.
antagonist of the show, which is a strong component of the show. I loved it. The more detailed the character is, the more multi-layered for us actors. It's more delicious to portray the character, and I say delicious because it's like a soul food when you feel like, oh, I have everything at my disposal. I know nearly everything about her, so I can portray her fully dimensional rather than just portraying her as a
To,
picture, shallow picture.
I love it. I love seeing on the screen. So I want to go back to something you just said. We only have a little bit of time left, but you were a fan favorite for quite some time before the casting was revealed, and an object of a lot of talk online. There was some back and forth between you and Rafe on social media. So how exactly did you get the role? How did that come about?
It was obviously the first time in my life I've worked half a century where nothing like that has happened to me. As soon as I was done with The Expanse, fans started, oh, Aghdashloo is done with The Expanse. We want to see her at work. Let's send her to another one. And then, the fans of sci-fis and fantasies are well read, highly educated, and how it works. Reading those novels, 400 or 500 pages each, you really have to have the brain for it. And they started, finding another one, and then one of them came up with the idea of the Wheel of Time. I had seen the Wheel of Time, and I thought, would there be a place for me in the Wheel of Time? Thinking, and then they started saying that let's find her a role in the Wheel of Time. Then they came up with the idea of Cat Swan, My social media person, Dennis, told me, "Shoreh, say something. Their numbers are is growing. And they really like you. They want you to." I'm like, I'm still processing my thoughts. What's happening before my eyes. I cannot believe this. They're making feel. They're making me feel at home. It was amazing. You can imagine what kind of a feeling an actor like myself can have, having crossed, the culture and then working on, different movies, TV series. But all of a sudden, fans make you feel at home. Like, you are amongst us. You are a member of the family. We're gonna find you another job. This was the first time ever. I was in London, and then of course they were like, I said, "It's not for me to initiate." And they said, "Yes, let's go find a showrunner." They went out and found amazing Rafe Judkins, one of the best showrunners I've ever worked with. "Hey, Rafe Judkins, bring the woman over. Let her play Cat Swan." And I'm like, "Why do you want me to play Cat Swan?" "Because she is a strong cat. She has strong cat, just like your avatar." And finally, I was in London. I had a meeting with the casting director, the lovely casting director, and she said, "You know what's happening? Rafe is sending you an offer." And I said, "By all means." And I flew home.
That's amazing. Well, it looks like we're pretty much out of time here, but I do want to end with thanking you so much for this. It is 100% a treat to see you on screen, and I am so glad that you're our Eliada, and it's something that I think everyone in the fandom totally agrees with. Like it's such a treat to see you.
So much. I hope they enjoy it. I hope to God they would enjoy it as much as possible, as much as we did shooting it. Thank you for taking your
Thank you,
time and talking to me.
thank you so much
Merci.
for talking with me. I want to tell you folks, her positivity, her happiness, and her love for the fandom and the character is just infectious. I'm smiling now, just after watching her talk. Sharp contrast to Eliada herself, absolutely. So I just want to let you folks know I have more interviews coming out. So I have an interview with Zoe Robbins, Nynaeve, that is going to come out, but that likely will not air until after episode 8. I have a couple more interviews that I'm doing in the next few days with some more cast members as well as one of the directors. I'm unsure as when I can release those, but as soon as I'm able, they will be out here on the channel. We have some news videos in the pipe. We have some other things that we're going to be talking about, viewership for the Wheel of Time this season, some comparisons to Rings of Power, some other things that are going on within the fandom, a lot of social media stuff from the cast coming in the next couple of days. And, of course, Thursday we will have our review for episode 5. Friday we'll have our Easter eggs. Saturday we'll have our breakdown. And then Sunday we will do rinse and repeat of news and different things that are going on within the community and the fandom. So if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. There is a ton coming up from what up here in the next little bit. Like I said, pretty much video every single day about the Wheel of Time. And I'm having a blast doing this. So let me know, folks, down below in the comments, is there anything you folks want to do? And I've noticed that my explain videos that I have here on the channel have gained a fair bit of popularity in the last little bit. And I've done some explain videos. I have one on Objects of Power. People have been asking about that. I have one on the Aes Sedai, one on Shadow Spawn, one on the Aelfin and Elfin, one on the Ogier, one on the Seanchan, one on the Aiel. And there's lots more to do. So if there's anything you folks want to know about, if you're non-book readers, or the things you want to know about that are happening in the show that you think warrants an entire video, or if you are book readers and show watchers, is there anything you want me to highlight as part of the book series coming up in between here that would help out people who are watching the show? Let me know in the comments down below, and let me know exactly how excited you are for some of these interviews coming up. One of them in particular, I'm very excited about. So thank you so much for sticking with us here to the very end. Here's to many more.